Welcome to another episode of Advancing Consciousness Podcast. And today we have episode 9. And the question that comes up, are we expecting others to bring in a viable life for us? Good question to ask, because many of us have created such a reliance on others to make our life better or to enhance it. So stay tuned to today's episode. So welcome back again. We get to play some more today, and we're looking at, are we expecting others to bring in a viable life? Now, how many of us, in one way or another, going through our journey of life, have created reliance on not only other people, systems, the economy, the people in our lives, and so forth, and kind of went into a waiting state, sometimes turning into stagnation, of course, because at one point or another, we're waiting for somebody else, something else, or a group to make our life better. Is that really why we're here? Is that really what we wanted to experience? Well, you could say, well, I want to try it out for a little while. I want to see how that feels. Do I feel empowered or disempowered by doing so? But at this point in time, the question still comes back to, are you still? Let's put the word still in there. Are we still waiting for someone else to make our life better, make our life more viable, making our life more exciting or something of that nature? Now let's look at it this way. Of course, we're going through our experience in life and so forth, and we're hoping that our parents will make our lives better if we have parents. So sometimes we have a single parent, sometimes we have no parents. And on the odd occasion, we'll have both parents, of course. And then we're relying on them to make our life better. And, I'm privileged or not privileged, or if they act a certain way, or I don't get stuff from them, that my life will either be good or bad and so forth, or the fact that in some way I had a better opportunity or less of an opportunity based on what I was provided. Same thing with the thing, going to school and saying, I'm going to put my reliance on getting that piece of paper, getting the certificate, doing really well in school because that'll make my life better. And I get to play the game better. I get to do all of that stuff. And we put that carrot in front of ourselves and we keep moving forward, expecting that the system or, the educational system or anything else to make our life better. We also do that with governmental aspects. We're saying, well, depending on the politics or depending on who the leader is or what the team or group or whatever is in place and so forth, that our life will be better or the economy is better or this is better and then my life will be better. Or that the fact that when I actually get to retire, my life will be better. And it doesn't stop there because a lot of times we are actually creating reliance to when I have kids, my life will be better because then, I'll give my life meaning or that, life, I can try to live my life with my kids or through my kids, which is pretty popular too. And then we go into the thing is, when I have the ideal relationship, when I have this individual in my life, whoever that individual is, or when somebody comes into my life and really lightens me up or completes me or something of that nature, then my life is going to be better. All of us at one point or another have put in things of that nature as our life. Or the other part is when I get a good career, when I have lots of money, then my life is going to be better. Well, you know something? That's an interesting experience, and we certainly can give a lot of power to it and see it as, hey, a viable way to play the game. But right now, how much of that really resonates for you? How much of it do you still want to make that as part of our way of navigating? At the moment right now, with all the stuff that's going on, depending on where you are in the world, we're putting a lot of power on leadership, a lot of power on what's going to unfold or whatever else to make our life either better or worse. Or that the fact that, certain things come into place, and if we have those things in place, that somehow my life will improve. Or waiting for, some savior of sort, because that happens a lot too. It's like, oh, we're waiting for such and such, or such a deity, or certain things to save my life, or to kind of change my life, right? But then the question comes in, how much of it, all of that is empowering, and how much of it is really disempowering? As much as we wanted to experience a disempowered state, but right now, do you still want to play disempowered? Do you really want to see that something else outside of yourself is going to make your world better or make your life better? Let's really put that into the correct frame here. Because right now you're saying, okay, all these changes, as the season comes in and goes, things are going to be better or worse or anything of that nature. You're creating a reliance, you're creating a dependency, you're putting something outside of you, when in fact what's outside of you is really under your own governance, your own creation. And this is the thing. Because what's empowerment? Empowerment is realizing that you're much more than this human experience, first and foremost, but that you are not only source as the source of all existence, you are a beautiful individualization, but you're a creator and your own creation and the observer of creation. And really, you've come here to experience the disempowered state, to feel that somehow the big picture, everything around you is actually shaping your life, and really gone gung-ho with that, dive right into it. But now coming to the realization, stepping things up into that empowered state, so that we are saying, hey, I'm going to shape my life no matter what the scenery around me is. It doesn't matter what my story has been, what my history has been, who did what, who did not do something that I thought was, who stepped up, who did not step up, what didn't play out or anything of that nature. I'm not going to give any power to that. I'm not going to give any power to who I play with and I don't play with, who's in my life, who is not in my life, who am I expecting or didn't expect at this point in time. I'm not putting any power into that. It doesn't matter what I've learned, what I've adopted, what I've taken on, or what the reflection of the collective is saying that life is this way, or any perceived idea or belief system that we've adopted at one point or another and saying, this is who I am, this is how the game is played, this is how it is. Is that all we're putting our attention in, or are we shifting away from all of that? Because that was part of the game we played up to this point and now. Now we're looking at it, does not matter what it is or where it is or where I'm at right now or what I've done or haven't done, what piece of paper I have or anything of that nature. Empowerment is I am here now with the capabilities and opportunities that I have now. My skill set and my accessibility that I have at this point in time of higher consciousness, of self-awareness. And from this point, now you go into a choice of preference. What do I prefer to create right now in this moment that will also extend to the next moment, and then I will experience the next moment and create the following moment? It's no longer waiting. It's taking active steps. But the biggest step we take is a shifting in our reality, in our mind, the shifting of consciousness, the shifting of our focus. You're not going to go into the poor me, I did or did not have this. You're stepping into, wow, what an amazing ride, what I've created, what I've experienced, what I've played with in all aspects, who I engaged with, where I've taken, what choices I've made, what paths I've taken, even the bumps and bruises that I've taken along, all of the state of unconsciousness I've experienced, all the beautiful dance and everything that played out. Wow, what a ride. And now I'm going to look at my ride, my current situation, current position, current capabilities, based on all of those experiences, which I've just taken on as awesome experiences. And what do I want to shape? What do I want to create? What do I want to plug in as part of my reality? Yes, it doesn't matter what I've believed, what the human condition is, and what the collective has said the human condition is. Is it truly that? Am I stepping into place to create my reality, shape it completely, to transform the human experience, because we're now coming to the realization in self-empowerment that the human condition, the human idea of what is as nature or anything of that nature was an adopted idea and concept that has been pushed. But now you're saying, in my empowered state, I'm going to access that truest form, clearest design of who I am, to utilize the capacities that I have, the skill sets that I have. I didn't come here empty-handed. I didn't come here as empty-handed as a soul, because I brought in the multidimensional experience part onto this playground. I didn't come empty-handed from a human entity part, because each and every life it's advanced, each and every life it's enhanced its skill set, and this is what I'm going to use now. And the body's upgrading and so forth that it's going in, the energies it's carrying, the frequencies that it's carrying, the flexibility that it's stepping into, and the consciousness, the innate consciousness that it's accessing at this point. I'm fully loaded. I've got everything I need. All I got to do is decide to step up and do it, to start to experience it, first in my mind, and then to see the creation around me, to shape it, but also to take the action around that. Because, you know something? I'm not willing to wait for anything anymore. There's nothing to wait for. I've been waiting for myself, really, to get to this realization that here, I am ultimately the designer. And if I choose to play with other playmates, I go in as a whole playmate, not as a fractured playmate, looking for another piece of yourself. Not at all. You're already whole. You always have been whole. And that's the realization that we're coming into. So you're not waiting for anybody or anything. You're going in as a whole. And if you choose to play with specific playmates, including a partnership, children, and so forth, you see them as whole. And we're just complementing and playing with each other. We're going to play different roles. We're going to push certain buttons if necessary to deactivate or to see what is still active within ourselves, but also push the buttons to light us up, to turn on the highest aspects of ourselves. But it's not a necessity for them to be there. It's an enhancement. But I have the freedom to bring him in or not. And I realize from this point on, they're another aspect of myself. It was never outside of that. It's another aspect of myself that I choose to play with. And I choose to play with communities and groups and other facilitators and so forth, but always on an equal plane and with the opportunity to really enhance yourself. We are basically here really realizing this much more powerfully. And then also with that empowerment, realizing that you're way more than what this human experience has related or reflected and played out up to this point in time. You're much more powerful than that. You have many, many, many contributional aspects that are part of you that make up your not only your physicality, but your existence. But at the same time, we're also realizing that while you're here, you came here to not only experience part of your experience, but to really enhance every part of it. And many of us are very active in choosing to come in and step up and transform the human experience to its true nature and beyond, while transforming the playground we call the earth or the world to its natural design and beyond. See, all of this we're doing it. And that's what we have chosen to do. So we've come here to play this. And this is the realization. There's no more waiting for anyone, no waiting for what the outcomes are in the election, who's in power, who's this. Not at all. Because again, we're all integral parts of this collective dance. But at the same time, within the collective dance, we have many, many layers and playgrounds. So we have many screens that we play. Depending on our frequency and our focus, we will see the screen that most matches us. And it goes way beyond this idea of the laws of attraction. We're basically creating alignments, and also we get to see the highest version of ourselves, which is what we're bringing in, also playing with higher versions of others. And when we're talking about the highest version of ourselves, it means the highest version of who you are now, and that continues to expand and grow. It's not the version of you that you have adopted in different stages of your life from birth till now. And again, if you can connect with that version of you as you came in as in birth, that's already a huge advancement, because at that time, creativity, imagination, playfulness, excitement was an all-time high. But now, of course, over the years, we kind of squashed it down by trying to play the game that we chose to play. But now, again, all of those versions, all of those definitions, all of those aspects of ourselves that we've attached to and defined ourselves and labeled ourselves and so forth as the part of those versions that we're letting go. Because the versions that were created at that time, yes, it was created in inverted 3D, 2D, and inverted 3D, but it was also created in different frequencies on the planet, different transmissions on the planet, and different states of consciousness, not only from our planetary level, from our solar system, from our galaxy, and our universe. So it was a very different time, a very different energy, very different opportunity. Yeah, okay, so we shifted away from our natural state, and now we're going back into that natural state, but we're going back in a more advanced state. We're not going back to the same. It's not the same. But already even going to the same, which is part of the transitional bridging component of it, is already hugely advancing us in a powerful way. So it goes back to, who are you waiting for? You're waiting for you? Absolutely. That's what you're waiting for. It's you. You are fully capable, and you have made that decision, and you are stepping into that experience of that decision. It's not outside of you. Never has been, never will be. We created the illusion. We put a lot of focus in it. We programmed and conditioned ourselves to believe that the outside world is what dictates how we experience life, when it's the other way around. We choose to experience life any which way we choose, being that uniqueness that we are, and then the world around us starts to shape around us. And as more of us are doing this more collectively, then the collective scape changes even more profoundly, besides the way we play. Now, of course, one of the things that we are doing at the same time as in this empowered state, we're also purging the old ideas and concepts that, okay, when I have stuff or money or this or that my life is better, because those were all made up. The thing is, you're already better. You just start to play better, and then whatever resources you require, which again, all of it is transforming and dissolving, and new ways of doing that, where it's just purely energetic coming into play, starts to take more of its role and becoming more active in our experience. So this is the thing, and it's really up to us. It's not outside of us. It's not. Nobody has to give us permission. This is not about getting permission to be yourself. The thing is, you have that in the very essence of you, to be yourself. Now, that being yourself is not giving power to others and say, well, I can't be myself because they won't accept me, and I can't be myself, or then they don't want me, or I can't be myself, or I can't be part of their group. I can't be myself because then, nobody's going to love me, or that the fact that in some way, somehow I'd be exorcised or kicked out or something of that nature. Well, there's a part to that to understand that when you're becoming yourself, you make that decision and you feel it wholeheartedly, you're not going to become, a chameleon and shifting yourself to wherever you are and who you're playing with. You're not going to create multiple facades of yourself. You're going to be pure. You're going to be purely yourself. And of course, that's upgrading all the time and shaping, reshaping itself accordingly. So wherever you are, whoever you're with, whoever you choose to play with, you're going to be yourself 150%. And I throw the 50% in, just it's extra expansion there. But 100%, you're going to be yourself. You're going to be yourself 100% wherever you are, because at the same time, what's happening by you being your genuine 100%, you're basically going to trigger other people in the dance of who you play with to kind of see what you're doing. And then, yeah, there may be a resistance at the time and maybe some form of judgment at the time, if that's what we want to play with. But if we don't give any power to that, of course, that's not going to even happen. But with that all taking place, you're actually giving them permission. Not that anybody needs permission, but you're actually kind of opening the gateway, the doorway for them to be themselves. And they're going to notice that how you feel more genuine, how you feel more playful and excited about whatever's going on. And they want part of that. They want some of that, and maybe as much as you have or more at this point in time. So then they're going to start taking action. They may even ask you questions, and you're going to say, hey, listen, I decided, I made the decision. No matter what, I'm going to be myself. No matter what, I'm going to be the genuine being that I am and offer what I've come here to offer. I'm not going to restrict myself in any way, shape, or form any longer. I'm done with that. I'm way beyond that. So this is where I'm choosing now. And I have chosen to take on my empowered state to create my reality, to shape it, and use my preference. Do I prefer to play with this or not? If I play with it now, am I bound to it? No. Am I committed to anything? Yeah, I'm committed to myself, but I'm at the same time not committed to anybody else. I'm not committed to play any particular role for any period of time, because I'm going to be flexible. I'm going to be fluid, and that means if I feel like playing now, I will. And if it doesn't resonate, or I choose to play something else or expand the play, I'm going to adjust it accordingly, because I'm going to stay active online. And when I say active and online, meaning that I'm going to stay current each moment, and each moment I'm going to shape my moment that I have in my disposal. And then from there, create a new moment. I'm not waiting for new moments. I'm not waiting for another day. I'm not waiting for another person. I'm not waiting for any of what is around me to change. I've chosen to change accordingly. I've chosen to reshape and redirect my life step by step on how I choose to do so. And that's it. This is where, you can communicate in that form or whatever it is. But again, you're not here to change anybody. You're not here to fix anybody. You allow them to be themselves. This is the thing. So if they choose to stay the game for a little longer, you let them be. You don't have to do anything. You just offered what you have been observing, what you have been experiencing, and that's it. You're sharing. That's all you're doing. You're sharing. Same way as I'm sharing now. You either utilize it or you don't. It's up to you. It's your freedom. It's not outside of you. You're still empowered. You're only hearing what you need to hear because you've chosen to hear it. You're going to use it to the degree you want to use it because you chose to use it as much as you choose to experience it and to utilize it. That's all. The thing is, nobody's shoving anything down your throat. Now, even though that looked to some degree that way when we were playing the game on the inverted matrix, inverted 3D and 2D, because it didn't accentuate individualization expression for the collective of whole. It was more unification, where everybody had to be the same, or at least fall into certain molds and so forth. And when I say molds, meaning religious molds, and there are many of those different types, and then gender roles and different roles in between that, and also utilizing different roles of different belief systems and so forth, and dynamics and whatever else. But that's not what you're here to do anymore. As much as you adopt it, you utilize it, you played with it, you got a feel for it, and great, awesome, but now where we go. And this is the thing. So now it's no longer about waiting, it's about empowerment. Everything that's playing out right now energetically, and also with all of the chaotics and whatever else that we're noticing, and I use the word chaotic just loosely so that people just kind of understand what I'm talking about. But at the same time, it's not chaotic. It's very colorful, very intense, very polarized based, and give us the opportunity to kind of see it so that we can actually integrate our own self in the midst of it, so that we do not ground on self or attach ourselves to the outcomes or attach to whatever's playing out. We are basically coming from that core grounding from within. Yes, we could utilize the grounding with Gaia, the planet, whatever you want to call it, to a certain degree when they're talking about nature, and that will enhance and support you from the physical aspect and so forth. And it can also create a calming and so forth from the human entity part. But when you're connecting to your true self, who you are as source, as this advanced soul, multidimensional beingness that you are, it usually it tends to create a rock solid, and it becomes more active in the direction that it chooses to go without swaying one way or another. So, that plays a huge part at this point in time. So here we are. We're no longer waiting for anybody. We're waiting for ourselves, but there's no waiting required. It's just making a choice. Do I move forward or not? You're going to find that it's going to be more and more difficult to stay stuck, to stay stagnant, to stay and wait. There's nothing supporting that any longer. Yeah, we're supporting each other, saying, oh yeah, we got to wait for this, we got to wait for that, we got to wait for this outcome. And yeah, if this person goes in power, or this person comes into your life or something, then it'll be better. Or if there's a change in this in the system or something like that, then it's going to be better. Well, you know, we're the ones that are changing it. We're the ones that need to step into it, but it's not about any of that stuff. And of course, all of that stuff will change anyways because the fact that we are changing, because the fact that more of us are changing and more of us have been changing. My observation over the last 63 years, I've noticed how much more things have opened up and shifted for many, many, many people in comparison to many years ago. And many of us have observed that you are becoming more and more aware, accessing higher consciousness, seeing behind the veil, seeing that there's more to life than what we've been playing, and that we're putting more attention in going into that state of resonance and alignment rather than this disalignment and non-resonance that we've played up to this point in time. And as much as that was a blast, so much as that was such a beautiful opportunity, but now we're upgrading every part of it. So with that, you're not waiting any longer to anybody. You're the one. You decide how are you going to move forward, how are you going to play, what you're going to utilize as part of your journey forward, because that's really what it's all about. So go out and play and have a blast with every aspect of everything that's been playing out at this time. So thank you again. Stay tuned for another episode as we roll out one per day.